organizations that he's connected with, other cultural figures that he has relationships with, to bring those sort of resources and ideas to have this center live to its fullest potential.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bilal, for providing me a lot of information about this center.
You're very welcome.
This center has a special name, or it's called American Muslim Society. What is the name of the center?
The center, right now we actually haven't finalized the name, but the organization that is managing the center is the Muslim American Society of Boston. So MAS Boston, and the cultural center's specific name is the Islamic Society of Boston Cultural Center.
After Mecca, the United States draws the most diverse group of Muslims anywhere in the world. We have people from Africa, Asia, the Middle East, and people that have converted to Islam here in America.
We are in Boston, and Boston is a unique city where the best universities in the world here, the best hospital, the best financial center.
What I admire about the Islamic Society of Boston is the sophistication of the management at the ISB, such that it has a lot of foresight, it has a lot of vision.
And the ISB is amazing because it serves so many different populations.
The new project, the Islamic Society of Boston's Cultural Center, is going to be, I believe, one of the largest Islamic centers in the country, inshallah.
Over the past few years, the Muslim population in and around Boston has grown dramatically. This area has been blessed, by the grace of Allah, with a Muslim community that is diverse and dynamic, numbering 70,000 in Greater Boston and 130,000 in Massachusetts overall.
The Muslim community here is a very highly educated and professional community. We have 70,000 Muslims. The majority of them are professionals, physicians, engineers, lawyers, businessmen, which makes Boston is the best place for communication between Muslims and non-Muslims and for doing da'wah in the United States.
Islam is the fastest growing religion in America, and in Boston there are so many people who are accepting Islam recently that it's becoming really a place of gathering and knowledge and information. An American Muslim, born in Boston and grew up in the New England area of the United States, graduated from Boston University in 1997 with a degree in broadcasting and film production, and I'm currently hoping to attend law school, civil rights law. I started reading about Islam from books and going to places like the Islamic Society of Boston and meeting Muslims and talking to them. Eventually, I just realized that Islam is the truth and Islam is the right path, and I accepted Islam and said my Shahada 2 years ago.
The ISB is probably one of the more active mosques in terms of working with new Muslims and people who are interested in Islam. Right now, myself and my wife are helping do class about Islam for people who are just interested.
The mosque in Cambridge was opened in January of 1995, and we thought the capacity of 300 Muslim would be sufficient at least for the next 5 years or so. In less than 1 year, there was over 1,000 people praying in this mosque, which have capacity of 300 people only.
It's a place where you can meet Muslims from Nigeria, Trinidad and Tobago, China, Turkey, Chicago, wherever, all meeting at the same place.
I came to work at the ISB because there was a great need in the community for reaching out to the non-Muslim surroundings, particularly in the media and the government. And after September 11th, there was so much attention and so much interest in Islam and in the Muslim community that it was necessary for us to establish real ties with the media and real ties in the political arena by which we could communicate what our community was, what we cared about, who we were, and not allow other images that came from other places to determine how Muslims were perceived.
On this stage, students from Newton are visiting this mosque. The Islamic Society of Boston is trying to educate people about Islam and Muslims.
I was just really curious about the religion. I've heard a lot of different things, and I just really wanted to know what was right.
We've worked with the Governor's Task Force on Hate Crime, which is part of the Governor's Office. We've worked with the State Attorney General quite extensively. We've worked also with the Massachusetts Commission Against Discrimination, which is a state agency, and which is an agency that actually gave us an award in the State House in February for the work we had been doing for public education to inform the greater public about the Muslim community.
I was professionally impressed by what the Islamic Society of Boston was doing after September 11th, and I was personally touched by it. The ISB had been going out and making not dozens but hundreds of public presentations to get the word out. And so we selected the Islamic Society of Boston for a special education award to acknowledge the public education efforts.
In the greater Boston area, there is no full-time Islamic school where the children could go and learn in an Islamic environment.
The ISB Cultural Center is extremely important for a lot of communities here in Boston. It offers a symbolic presence of the Muslim community, which is very large here in Massachusetts.
Everything about the location just speaks to this building, from the physical layout to the access to public transportation, to its proximity to downtown, to its location in the heart of the black community, to its heart in the geographic center of the city of Boston.
How do you now take the mosque typology and make it a Boston building at the same time that is recognizable as a mosque? And that was really the challenge that I placed in front of the architects.
The texture of the building, of the facade, we're trying to use a brick expression. Boston is a city that has a lot of brick buildings. We're playing around with using various arches in the building as a kind of an Islamic expression. As you go through Boston and you look at the historical buildings in Boston, this is a vocabulary that's commonly used. So we're drawing on that and trying to explore how we can use this expression as something that relates back to the historical buildings of Boston, but also relates back to the historical Islamic buildings.
This building is going to set the stage for a new cultural context for architecture in Boston, because it's the first time a mosque has been built in Boston, and how that gets translated and designed is going to be very important, because it is going to be the first one that is going to set the stage for others.
As the leading designer in this project, we had very, very intensive meetings with the members of the community, men, women, and children. And the most interesting result of those meetings that everybody in the society want to have a project which connect us and make us part of the bigger society of Boston. And this concept is reflected on the plan. The praying space is only 10% of the first floor plan, and then the other part of the space is a multifunction hall which can be used for the Friday prayer as an extension, and then a school. These are the three major parts of the buildings, with the entrance, the main entrance, which is called the Court of Peace, and then we have a second floor which contains a space for the women, special functions. They will participate with the other functions downstairs, but if they have their own functions, they can do it upstairs. And again, the second floor of the school with the library and the classrooms.
We're hoping it's going to be a very interactive place. We're going to open our doors to the community and have it be an Islamic center, a place of knowledge, a library, a school for Islam and Islamic information and knowledge. But it's also going to be a place for non-Muslims to come and learn about us and to talk to us. And this is very important in terms of da'wah.
This particular project is not like any other project. The Islamic community, Muslim community, is working with the City of Boston and the Mayor of Boston, the Boston Redevelopment Authority, to develop the largest cultural center in the United States.
To give you an idea of how important this project is for the city, I will tell you that from its inception during the administration of Raymond L. Flynn to the current mayor, Thomas M. Menino, at every step of the way, each administration have encouraged this effort.
So it's very important that there be a visible presence of Muslims and also a space that is welcoming to non-Muslims.
The board members were amazed that this project has continued to grow and evolve and get this far.
The ISBCC, God willing, will really bring Muslim life in Boston to a